I work with BBC Research and Development, and I'm here to talk about a collaborative research project where we developed a new piece of hardware that adds your current radio listening to a BBC Music service at the touch of a button. So a little bit more about me. I'm a product designer with a background in industrial, electronic and mechanical design. I've been with the BBC in the North for about 3 years, and I've been working on kind of connected products and Internet of Things type activities all that time. So today I'll tell you a little bit about how we developed the prototype, how we tested it, and how the technology can be developed further to enable audiences to discover, organise and consume radio content in lots of different ways. So, we've all been there, fallen in love with an absolutely incredible piece of music, something on the radio, something life-changing. It's a moment you want to treasure forever. You want to capture that moment. But you're cooking, or you're nowhere near your phone, you tell yourself to remember it, but it's more likely you'll forget. These moments usually happen to me when I'm driving, that really boring long commute, or on the motorway. You hear an incredible song, but I'm just never going to remember all of that. So instead, we turn to traditional methods of remembering and searching, like making notes or Googling things. And of course, there's lots of fantastic apps now, app-based services to help you identify and save tracks. And the BBC has launched Playlister, a browser-based music service that lets you build playlists based on listening to live or on-demand radio, and you can export them to streaming services such as Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes and things like that. But they're all missing something. So my team approached Playlister, and we worked to develop a piece of physical hardware that could work better than those apps. A physical button to give listeners added value when they're in those contexts that mean focused attention or on a smartphone isn't desirable, it's not even possible. So the button allows you to tag tracks from live radio broadcasts, and you can add them to your Playlister account. The tags can be made whilst listening to any of the 6 radio networks that are currently served by Playlister on any live platform. And it uses Bluetooth to send timestamps to a paired smartphone, where a native bridging app serves the request to Playlister. So that's using some technology called Radio Tag and some Playlister APIs. The button can also store tags when it isn't close to a paired phone. You can store about 150 of them before needing to sync with your phone. So we made 2 hardware versions, and I've got one in my pocket here somewhere. And we wanted to test if changing the size of the device changed people's behavior when they were using it. So when you hear a song that you love, just press the button, and it sends it to your phone. And actually, we made quite a few for a trial. So, to find out if a simple physical device like this could be more appropriate for controlling media in certain contexts, we collaborated with an independent agency called Amberlight to run a trial with about 150 people living with these physical buttons in their homes. The trial was natural usage to mitigate potentially kind of inflated results from content prompting, constantly prompting people or giving them big incentives. We actually just said, take these buttons, use them, live with them, and tell us if they're good or bad. The trial lasted 3 weeks, including weekends, and we compared those using the physical buttons against those just using the app. At the end, we had collected lots of data. So our buttons went all over the UK, and we saw really good continued use and retention. And interview and survey feedback told us that most people loved the simplicity of it, and many participants didn't want to give their buttons back to us. Following the surveys and interviews, there's strong evidence to suggest that giving people a physical button actually increases their transfer onto online services, and people with the buttons tagged a lot more. With the ease of use and saving tracks for later was very positive. Keeping the button in a kind of single place was mostly used. People mostly used them in the home or in a static place, and it kind of reminded them, oh, I can see a button, That's what that does. It does a single thing. I'll press that when I'm listening to radio. So the button actually resonated very well with passionate radio listeners. Of course, the stations with big reach also got big hits. So Radio 1 and 2, obviously, lots of people tagged with that, with 75% of the tags. But what is really interesting is that Radio 2 and 6, their listeners actually made more tags per person, supporting the kind of variety of music that those stations offer and the dedicated audience members they kind of garner. So even though we tested two sizes of hardware, it was clear that mostly people used them in static places. But some people actually wanted something quite a bit smaller. So we thought we'd quickly make up a smartphone app, smartwatch app even, which I'm wearing right now. A close-up demo maybe later. So, can we make it real? Well, when comparing with kind of currently available tech on the market, kind of one-touch buttons, I think our work differs kind of crucially in that it's dedicated, it does exactly what it says on the tin, a little bit like the Dash, but it goes beyond that kind of one single functionality. It has that emotional link because the relationship with music is a really personal one. It's really significant and really deeply personal qualities that some of the other buttons maybe don't do that. And people can use it to record moments anywhere. You don't need an immediate access to a smartphone or any connectivity. So we pretty much agree, it's quite a good idea. And current hardware prices are beyond what a public service broadcaster could invest in. Products like the Flick button up there are brilliant, but teaming up with their manufacturers might mean that we have to strip out some of the functionality that means that lets our button work offline. And I don't think we quite want to do that. We could also make a Wi-Fi version that people like in their homes. We could ditch the smartphone app and just use it in the home. That would be great too. So there's lots of avenues to explore. They're all exciting. So if you'd like to know more, check out the R&D website, or get me on Twitter, or grab me afterwards and I can give you a quick demo. Thank you very much.
Jasmine, that's really, really interesting. Is this